I'm honestly not understanding where all of the good it movie reviews are coming from. I'm not a hater. I just don't get it. What do y'all like about this movie? Because it has a scary monster clown that turns into stuff? It wasn't anything scary about this movie. Like I didn't feel any type of fear, anything after watching this movie. I don't understand what it is that you guys saw about this movie that people are calling it a masterpiece, one of the top 10 movies, one of the top 10 scary movies ever. I'm like, what? Where? Like I've been following this movie since 2012 when they first announced that they were remaking, or when they were announced that they were making the movie. They say, you guys say it's not a remake, whatever. It's a remake, but okay, it's a reimagining, an actual film adaptation of the novel. I've been following this shit since 2012 when they first announced that they were doing that. I was a kid when the miniseries came out. So when they said that they were doing that, I went ahead and read the book. There's so much shit in this book that was left out of the miniseries, and now they're saying that they're gonna make a movie, an actual movie that's rated R. That's gonna be the shit. And then you go watch the movie, and I was geeked when I was in that fucking theater when the movie first came on. I was like, yeah, this movie about to be the shit. I can't wait. This movie finna be the shit. Wait till it goes in. Pennywise bit Georgie's arm off, and then from there on, it just went downhill. And then by the time the movie was over with, I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? I've been waiting 5 years for that shit, and I see why Carrie Fukunaga, whatever the fuck his, however the hell you say his name. I see why his ass left, because the studio Warner Brothers or whoever, fuck you Warner Brothers, because y'all wanted a fucking typical scary monster jump scare movie, and that's exactly what this shit was. And anybody that tells you otherwise is fucking lying out of their ass. Typical scary movie. And don't get me wrong, the dude that Bill Skarsgård, I think that's how you say his name, he did good with the material that they gave him. In the book, Pennywise, he's menacing, he's sinister. The shit that he says, he just fucks with you. In this movie, all he ever did was turn into a monster. They would scream, they would run, and they would get away. And that was it. And then they sat up there and lie and say that they, were making a film adaptation that was more so following the book. Bullshit. This shit didn't follow the fucking book. It was so much shit in this movie that was different than what occurred in the book. The only thing that they brought from the book that was different than the miniseries was the house on Neibolt Street and the leper. Everything else in this movie was either shit that was from the miniseries that they just sprinkled their own little seasoning on top of and changed it into what the fuck they wanted it to be, or they just completely just made some new shit up. Pennywise in this movie did not even really talk like in the novel. I remember it was one part where Pennywise was talking to Richie saying that he was gonna give him, what the fuck he said, he was gonna give him anal cancer or rectal cancer or prostate cancer. But in this movie, he didn't talk. Like the only time that he really was talking was when he was just saying dumb clown shit. Like he didn't talk and fuck with them. When Bill was in the basement and Georgie was there, the ghost of Georgie. Georgie was supposed to be like, Bill, it's your fault. You sent me out. You sent me out there, and you sent me out there, and the clown got me. He got me. It's your fault, Bill. Bill was supposed to be making Bill feel guilty and get him vulnerable for Pennywise to attack. Georgie, he didn't do shit. Like, all he just was kept saying, "You'll float too. You'll float too." Just kept repeating that shit over and over and over again. Like that shit was really scary. That wasn't scary. And then Pennywise gonna jump at him. Like what? Like what? Who thinks that's scary? There was a bunch of parts in the movie that made me jump. I mean, you can't help but to jump if the music is loud and go doom, and some shit pops off across the screen. But that doesn't mean that it's scary. It just means that the music just played loud and it kind of startled me. The only part in the movie that I actually enjoyed slightly was the house on Newbolt Street part. That was fun. It still didn't get to what I wanted it to get to. I don't know. I guess I just had so much in my mind that I was expecting out of this movie, and I didn't get it at all. The house on Newbolt sequence was getting there. And I thought that it was gonna go there when Pennywise came out of the refrigerator and he did his little clown dance up to Eddie, and I was like, here it comes. And then he grabbed Eddie and put him up to the wall with his hand up in his face like that. I was like, here it come, here it come. He finna go in. But he didn't even do shit. I don't even remember what he said. There wasn't shit memorable about nothing that Pennywise said. I was expecting him to, talk shit to Eddie and really fuck with him. And then Henry Bowers, like, what the fuck? If I was in school with the miniseries Henry Bowers, I might be scared of his ass. This new Henry Bowers, this Nicholas Hamilton, I wouldn't be scared of his ass. That shit wasn't believable, him being a bully at all. I laughed every time this dude came on. I laughed. Like, what the fuck? This is this supposed to be the bully? I just ain't like this movie at all. The bathroom scene with all that blood, but I just felt like it looked fake. They overdid that shit. And they had the blood all over the wall, but it looked like wallpaper. It looked like the walls were painted red. I guess that's what they were going for, to make it look like the walls were painted red, but it didn't look like blood. It just looked like red wallpaper. And then it was like when they walked into the bathroom, the glow from the red was shining on them. It just looked like it was just way too over the top. The simplicity of the miniseries scene of the bathroom scene with the blood coming out of the drain, that was creepy. Then of course the CGI, that shit was just terrible. This shit looked like a fucking PlayStation 4 video game. Damn, can you at least try to make it look real? But like the Georgie part, I see it where I fucked up was like I looked at this scene when I went to see Annabelle, and so it was the preview of that. And in Annabelle, like the preview, it stopped right before he bit his arm off. So basically, when I'm watching the movie, that whole scene was exactly the same as it was. So I'm like, okay, okay, okay. And then finally, Georgie reaches his arm in and then he bites his arm off. I expected it to be more of a struggle. It just happened so fast. Like Pennywise just opened up his mouth, that CGI cartoon looking shit. He bit his arm off just with one chop, just chop, and then his arm is gone. And then Georgie kind of falls into the street, and it just didn't look good. It just looked like they was doing a play. Like, have you ever seen Adam's Family Values when Wednesday is in that play in school and the way that they chop their arms off and the blood shooting out? That's what that shit reminded me of. Adam's Family Values Wednesday's school play, and then Pennywise's arm stretches out and grabs him and pulls him. Why can't Pennywise grab his arm and be pulling and tugging and Georgie crying and screaming trying to get away, and then Pennywise continues pulling and Georgie just crying, and it's just a big ass struggle. And then the neighbors, they look at the drain and they see Georgie struggling in the drain, and Pennywise is steady, growling and trying to pull Georgie, and then finally that's when his arm rips off. That would have been dope as hell if that's how that shit went down. It was just a quick chop and that's it. I hate the ending. Like, the ending was just so fucking. How the fuck are they? How is Pennywise reasoning with them? In the book, Pennywise said himself that he's a superior being. So what the fuck? Why is he reasoning with them? Talking about some, if you let me take Bill, I'll sleep for 27 years, or I'll slumber, or some bullshit. And then Richie talking about some, I didn't want to do this, but I didn't want to do that, but now I gotta kill this fucking clown. And then all of them just start grabbing poles and stuff and just beating them up like it's some kind of gang initiation. I'm like, what the fuck? I had to pee like hell during this damn movie. I had to piss my ass off, but I held it because I just knew that the shit was gonna be good. Man, by the time the ending came, I was like, man, I just wish this fucking movie would hurry up, fuck up and go out so I can get the hell out of here and go fucking piss. If you loved and you enjoyed the movie, I respect your opinion. I just ask that you respect mine. I didn't enjoy this movie. I wanted a cerebral type of, you know, Sixth Sense type of movie. Of course, not exactly like Sixth Sense, but you guys know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Like some Hellraiser type of scary movie, you know? Instead, we get just another Friday the 13th or a Scream or just some typical slasher monster type of movie where it's you don't have to think. Like this movie didn't require any type of thought. Now, what I will say is the kids, the actors, they were amazing. They were funny as hell. Like this was a funny ass movie. They should just call this movie a comedy. It's like a spoof. Scary Movie Part 6. It was funny. The kids was funny. The dude that played Richie and the dude that played Eddie, their back and forth was funny as shit. Bill Stutter, it was one part that was in school. I think it was like the first scene when they was like in school and Bill they said something about somebody said something about dick or something and Bill was like and he does it with his dick. And then Bev, I liked Bev too. Bev, she the girl Sophia, whatever her name is, she did a good Bev. I don't like how they switched up Ben and Mike. You know, Mike was supposed to be the historian and Ben was the builder. They just let Ben be the historian and Mike was just like, I don't even know what his role was. What was he? Like Eddie was the one that was the germaphobe. Ben clearly was the historian. Bev was the girl. Bill was the leader. Richie was the funny one. And I don't even know what Stan was. I guess he was the Jewish one. And then Mike was the black one. This should not have been a film adaptation, and I hate to say that because I thought that it was a good idea to properly do the book justice. It cannot be a film, any movie, any film being more than 2 hours is way too long. This is like over 1,000 plus pages of a novel that they tried to adapt into 2 hours. Well, granted, we still have chapter two, so I guess you could say 4 hours. This should have been a remake of the miniseries. They should have made this an 8 to 10 episode show either on Netflix or on FX. Hell, they should have made it the seventh season of American fucking Horror Story. Especially now, like on FX or Netflix, where you can have violence and gore and cussing and shit. So that way they could develop the characters, develop the story, the plot. Like there was no reason for me to care about any of these characters. What was awesome about this movie? The special effects, him coming out of the projector. Okay, that was kind of cool. It made me jump, but like it wasn't scary. Him coming out of the refrigerator, now that was kind of dope, but it still didn't get to the level I wanted it to get to. Him biting off Georgie's arm, that wasn't shit. He just bit his arm off and that was it. The ending, him taking Bev hostage, what the fuck was that? And then they tried to give the excuse was, well, okay, well she's not scared. He doesn't have any fear over her. She's not afraid, so he can't kill her. So if that's the case, then why the fuck was he able to kidnap her? And then that didn't even happen in the book. They all went into the sewers together to go kill it. They didn't even let Bev be the person with the slingshot. Well, first of all, they didn't even have the slingshot. It was a gun with some silver. And then they didn't even discuss it amongst themselves. At least not that I know of, unless this was a part where I kind of just zoned out because I had to pee real bad. So I was just like, I can't pee. Instead, they made her a damsel in distress. Why? And then she got pulled into the deadlights. He opened up his mouth like all the way back, looking like a fucking that plant from Little Shop of Horrors. Well, I know it was the deadlights. They didn't say it was the deadlights. And then she got sucked into it, and then she was just floating up in the air. That never happened in the book. So why the fuck is this? If this is supposed to be more so following the novel, why are you? Do you have this happening? just so that you can make the boys be the heroes to come rescue her? First of all, why the fuck was the sewer inside the house on Nebo Street? That never happened in the book either. Those were two separate places. Two separate places. Fuck, my battery's dying. There was the house on Nebo Street and the fucking sewers, which was in the Barrens. This movie just pissed me off. Andres Muschietti, fuck you. Warner Brothers, New Line Cinema, fuck you. Alright? And Kerry Fukunaga, I hope that you get the last laugh. This was a childish ass movie. I'm sorry. Predictable ass, typical movie. And this is a fucking another example of how Hollywood is taking all of the classic old horror movies and films and remaking them, not giving a shit of if the movie is good. They're just making a fucking movie just so that they can make millions and billions of fucking dollars off of our gullible asses that are gonna go see it. Cause I'm gonna go see the fucking movie. I grew up on Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. It, all of this shit, it fucking sucks. They don't give a shit about a fucking plot line, a story. They want to change some shit up for the worst. Like, I mean, if you're gonna change some shit up, at least make it some shit that's dope. Like, y'all changing this dumbass fucking shit, making Beverly be this damsel in distress instead of being the powerful, strong woman that she was in the novel and in the miniseries, mind you, with the slingshot. And they show way too much shit in the fucking trailers because every part of the fucking trailers was basically the scary part in the movie. It actually wasn't scary. The monsters, I mean, yeah, they were kind of frightening. The headless boy as Ben was walking in the basement of the library, that was a little spooky. Actually, that was really spooky. But then it just ended up not being spooky no more because all it did was just fucking chase him instead of talk, even though it didn't have a head, so I guess it couldn't talk. Like, I mean, instead of it being creepy and creeping you out, it was just monster here, monster there, jump to the next scene. Oh, they're being funny, they're laughing, and then the next scene, monster here, monster there. I don't even know what the fuck happened to Belch and Victor. And then that part where Henry killed his father, it's like all he did was stuck the knife in there, and then his dad just died. It was like, where was the fight? Like, I mean, that would have been a cool scene if they would have fought. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Henry stuck it in there, his dad jumps up, and then they struggling for the knife, and it's just this big, elaborate ass fight, and and then Henry overpowers him and kills him. Now, what I will say was kind of cool was the TV show with the lady and the kids. And if you notice, that TV show was on about 3 or 4 times. It was on in Beverly's house, it was on in Henry's house, it was on in whose house? Eddie's house. And it might have been on in either Ben's house or Bill's house. It was somebody else's house, but it was on, and she would be saying like little shit like, it's fun to go play in the sewers, you should go play in the sewers, clowns are your friend, go to the clown. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the scene with Richie in the clown room, that was like exactly like the trailer. It wasn't shit different about that. Cause I remember watching that part in the trailer and I was like, damn, that looks scary. I wonder how Richie's gonna get out of that. Okay, Bill busted through the door and he grabs Richie, and then they hurry up and slam the door in Pennywise's face. But what I don't get was Richie walked up to that coffin that had his mannequin body or whatever the hell that was, and then Pennywise jumped out of it way up into the air and then landed on the thing. So if Pennywise can do all of that, why the fuck can't he just break a door down if they slam it in his face? I mean, when I watch a scary movie, I think about every little detail. When I watch a movie in general, I think about every little detail. And if it doesn't make sense, it just becomes stupid. In this movie, it was shit that just didn't make sense. And it was inconsistent with the novel, despite them saying that it was gonna follow the novel. And I'm just fucking over it and disappointed and pissed off that This has been 5 years in the making, and this has been anticipation for me for 5 years, and this is the results. And damn, I'm just now looking. This is a long ass fucking video, 30 minutes. Damn, I've been talking for 30 minutes. Alright, I know y'all sick of me talking. Probably ain't even nobody gonna even watch this fucking shit. But if you did watch it, if you agree with my review, or if you disagree with my review, you can leave a comment. We can talk about it. I want to have discussions. You know what I'm saying? I don't want these stands. Y'all act like stands. It's like, it's like y'all act like the beehive. You guys are the Pennywise hive. It's like anybody that has an objective commentary, it's like it automatically gets shunned, and you try to call us haters and trolls. I'm just giving my honest opinion. If I don't like the shit, I don't like the shit. I don't like it. It's not scary, and it ain't what I expected it to be, nor what I wanted it to be. Does that make me a troll or a hater? No. That's just me being objective about something that I was looking forward to, and being let down and disappointed. So, with that being said, y'all stay safe out here in these streets. Deuces.